Hi, Year 5. It's Mrs. Walker. So, whole class reading and English for today. You need to do both together, really. So, if we were in the classroom today, I would be starting with our whole class reading because it kind of gives you some more of a background to be able to do your English. Okay. So, if we start with the whole class reading, then, so the first thing you're going to do, it's based around a film today. So, we're looking at some film vipers, and the film is called Broken Rock Paper Scissors. So exactly the same format that we would use if we were reading a book, but we're going to do everything based around the film. So it's a 4-minute film, so not a long film, but you're going to need to watch it. So log on to the Home Learning Hub if you haven't already done so, and watch the video before you proceed any further with this video. Okay, if you've already watched the video, brilliant, and you are ready to answer your Viper questions. Okay, so I would start with the prediction. That's why I've put it in red. So the red question there is, before you watch, what do you think the film is about? Okay. So just making a prediction based on what you think the film is about. There is another prediction question saying, based on the traditional game of rock, paper, scissors, what do you think will happen? That question is linked to halfway through the film. So about 2 minutes in, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to be the result of the situation? Okay, so you've got some other Viper questions that I'd like you to answer. Wanting you to use an adverb, so starting with the vocabulary, using an adverb to describe how rock moves. Can you use a simile to describe rock's appearance? Inference question, what does rock think of paper? I've already gone through the prediction questions. Explain, how could you describe scissors' face? Retrieval, what can rock not do? And when the sun hits paper's face, what happens? Okay. And then finally, a summary question. In your opinion, what happens in the video? Okay. Do you think Rock regrets his actions? Okay. So basically, a summary of what you think's happened, and do you think Rock regrets any of his actions that have taken place? Okay. So once you've watched the video and answered those Viper questions, that's your whole class reading part of today's tasks completed. But you need that information in order to be able to complete your English work for today. Okay, so a couple of tasks to do. I want you to do this one first, and I have put this on the Home Learning Hub. So I want you to re-watch the video clip um, and see how many of the emotions and attitudes you can see the characters experience through the short story. Okay, now you might want to watch the video once and be able to do this. You might want to watch it a couple of times, stop starting, depends how much information you're absorbing. But what I want you to do is I want you to tick as you see it happen, or you can put it says there in the instructions, an R for rock, a P for paper, and S for scissors. Okay, so if you think that, say for example, rock experienced horror, then you'd put a little R in the horror box, or you might want to do a key and do it with some colours. It's entirely up to you how you complete that activity, but I'd like you to complete that activity before you start the writing for today. After you've done that, I have provided you with what a good one looks like. As you know, I quite like what a good one looks like. And I've chosen the Gruffalo. I imagine that 99% of us, if not 100% of us, are all familiar with the story of the Gruffalo. Okay, so your task today, your can I for today is creating a character description for rock, paper and scissors from the video that you've seen. And I've explained that on the Home Learning Hub. But I've provided this waggle so you can have a look at the sort of information I am looking for and expecting you to provide for me. Okay, so we've done this already this term. We've spent a lot of time looking at character descriptions for our character from our space story. And then we went on and we set the setting description, didn't we, as well? So you should be really, really good at this by now. I want metaphors, I want similes, I want alliteration, I want all of the things we've been practicing. Coordinated conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, all of these things, okay, all put into today's work. So have a little look at the Gruffalo waggle and see if you can pick out some ideas from that. And then here is your main task today. So can I write character profiles for the 3 main characters? So I've screenshot some images there of paper, rock and scissors. And then what I want you to do with those images is I would like you to take the image, put it into the center of your character description worksheet, and then fill in these bits around the outside. Okay, you don't necessarily have to print 3 of these off, but that's kind of the way I'd like you to set it out. And I've put an extra challenge on there. Can you create a background story for each of the characters? Where did they come from? Why do they behave the way they do? Where do they live? Do they have a family? You could be as creative as you like, okay? You might want to think of some other interesting things to tell me. All right. Okay, so that is it really. So I would like us to, in summary, just to sum up what I'm expecting for you to do for your whole class reading and your English is start by watching the video. In fact, actually rewind a little bit. So start with looking at your Viper questions and making your prediction. Then watch the video, then complete the remaining Viper questions, and then head on over to completing your English work. So doing your emotions worksheet, having a look at what a good one looks like based on the Gruffalo, and then completing your 3 character profiles for the 3 main characters of the video today. Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Year 5.